Well, it's Monday after we talked about restoration yesterday, and I want to talk to you about another Psalm, Psalm 53. Psalm 53 really goes into looking at the heart of God and the attitude of man. Now, Psalm 53, get this, is a repeat of Psalm 14. Now, it's written during, kind of repeated in a different epoch of history, but still a repeating of that. Why? Why is that? Why is the psalmist redundant here? I want to tell you why, because we often need to be reminded more than we are instructed. We need to remember what we know and not necessarily continue to learn something new, because that reminder is important. Let me read the first part of this, and I want to make some comments. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. They're corrupt, and they do vile deeds. There's no one who does good, and God looks down from heaven on the human race to see if there's anyone who is wise, who seeks God. All have turned away and alike have become corrupt. There's no one who does good, not even one. Well, that's such a joyful thing. But let me tell you why this was written here, why it was repeated from Psalm 14 to Psalm 53. This was, again, reminded right after the events of last week's summer psalm when I talked about the king of Assyria attacking Jerusalem, and 185,000 people, the Syrian soldiers, were dying, and all their weapons of warfare were broken. The psalmist, again, reminds you that it's futile to say there's no God. Now, I guarantee this, when the Assyrians went back to Assyria after having this sound defeat, they believed in God. Especially the ones who were eyewitnesses, the few survivors that were there, they saw the corpses of 185,000 of their comrades scattered across the plains of Jerusalem. They believed in God. And what this psalmist is reminding us, it is foolish to say there is no God. Now, we live in a society today that, they claim that all the time. Now, listen to where godlessness will lead you. You're corrupt, you do vile deeds, and all of us are contaminated by it. The writer of Proverbs would later say this: the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. In other words, the acceptance of the Lord, the acknowledgement of God, is the beginning of wisdom. We live in a day and age where God is pushed to the margins, but guess what? He's not going. He keeps moving over the margins and back into our lives. Even when we declare that we are godless, God says, no, you're not, because God cannot be negated by the pronouncement of men, the foolishness of their supposed intellect. They're just fools. Well, I don't want to be a fool. I want to say God is my God. He's my rock and my helper, my hope and my redeemer. He's the one who sustains me. He's the one who destroys armies before me. He is my guide and my hope and my future, because I want to have his wisdom and have his love. Maybe you know someone, maybe it's you, who said there is no God. Don't be a fool. Trust in the Lord, delight in him, and he will give you the desire of your heart. It says that in Psalm 37. So I hope this helps today as you kind of put into context the fact that historically God is God, in future God is God, in the present God is God, and when you choose to live all for him, you choose to live in the light of wisdom, because the fool has said there is no God, but the wise say, there is God, and I'm going to follow it. I hope this helps.